Hey, what's up everyone? Sean here with BlueRidgeSilverhound, and today is the start of a new segment. Hopefully it'll catch a little bit of steam and you guys will enjoy it. But it's a segment that I like to call the Graders Carousel. And in Graders Carousel, we talk about specific coins that I think are going to be a really good topic and target for a lot of folks that want to get into grading and keep it low risk. And make sure that the rewards associated with grading coins, is going to be high. All right. The worst thing that you want to do is get into a certain type of coin that you want to grade out and come to find out you have spent all this time, invested all this time and money and resources to only find out your coin's worth $5 to $10. All right. That's not a lot of fun. It's highly speculative and very, very risky to do it that way. You can't just, play roulette with the coin currency grading game. You just don't want to do that. You're going to end up losing a lot of money. All right. I've learned my lessons, and I've taken those specific lessons that have turned it into something that has worked out really well with me. And I wanted to share that with you in my first inaugural debut video of the Graders Carousel. So, what's everyone's favorite kind of denomination to collect? All right, it's really up there, top three, I would say, but it's definitely nickels. All right, yeah, you guys probably were thinking that I would say pennies. All right, that's probably all the way at the very top of the list, number one. But nickels comes in at a very close second. Now, why is that? Well, nickels to some is affordable. People are kind of caught up in the allure of the full steps, all right, which is simply just a strike designation. And it's normally something that you see on Jefferson nickels. Okay, Jefferson nickels started out in 1938 with that design by Felix Schley, and has turned out to be a relatively very solid mainstay in today's U.S. numismatics. However, is it the best type of coin to grade? Well, I'm afraid to say no. It's extremely difficult. Yes, there's high rewards, but it probably carries the biggest risk when it comes to grading, only because there's no safety net. From 1938, and it doesn't matter what mint mark is on the back of that coin or on the front of that coin, all the way up to the current date. If you're hung up on trying to get that full steps designation and you don't get it on any of the dates, you're going to come out pretty empty at the end when you get your coin submission back. So it's important to know, sorry my screen froze there for a second, but it's important to know exactly your limitations. So where does that leave us on our kind of like even better alternative to that, where it really truly is low risk and high rewards? And when I mean high rewards, up to $25,000, $30,000 for specific coins, dates. And that's going to be Buffalo nickels. Okay, what I like about Buffalo nickels, it's highly liquid. A lot of the coins are available online in mint state condition for a relatively reasonable amount of money. All right, that's important. You want to make sure that you keep your initial investment before you grade out your coins really low. I'm happy to say that some dates of Buffalo nickels fit that mold perfectly, all right? But is it just any Buffalo nickel that we're going to look at date-wise? No. 19 teens and 20s are relatively out of reach and very, very difficult to find in high grades raw. Okay, that means they're not graded yet. However, 1930s Buffalo nickels, I think, is where the sweet spot and the best compromise is for a lot of not only, seasoned older collectors, people that have been around the business for a while, but also for new folks to dive right in, all right? Can you imagine buying a mint-state 1930s Buffalo nickel for $25? It's a reality. It's a possibility. You can either buy it online, if you're lucky enough to find some at the local show circuit. That's even better yet. But whatever happens, you're going to come out feeling fully satisfied with a really nice BU mint state Buffalo nickel purchase. And then from there on, I'm switching up my words, crazy. But from that point forward, send them off to the graders. If they come back a minimum type of grade, congratulations, you'll be making some vast money. All right, so it works like this. Okay, you find yourself some Mint State Buffaloes. Sorry about that. Mint State Buffaloes. This is a 36S that I've actually held on to for a while. That's ready to go. Probably to NGC or PCGS, one of the two. And then your results will come back like this. All right. So you want the nickels, obviously, to come back a nice high grade. This one right here is a Mint State 66. I don't know if you can see that. But we also have another one right here. They are both 38Ds. And believe it or not, 38D is one of the most common dates to find in Mint State condition raw. And the big reason is a lot of these coins were hoarded back in 1938 because the people then knew that this new Jefferson nickel was going to be coming out the same year. So it's a two different types of nickels released during the same date, okay, which is rather unprecedented. You don't see that too much. The 1909 Indian head cent with the 1909 Lincoln cent was another year where you had a dual date scenario for release. So I would say 1930s Buffalo nickels is definitely the way to go. Now, obviously, you have to start somewhere. Now, would you be all willy-nilly to just go on eBay and to start to shop around? Probably not the wisest idea. If and only if the amount of information that you need before you go purchasing coins is going to be really, really important. So what I like to do is research the dates, okay? Obviously, if your main kind of end goal is to buy these coins, send them off to the graders, and then turn around and flip them and make a nice healthy profit, which you can do. You can do really successfully if you know your grading scale and just the overall appearance of coins. Then you're going to be in really good position to become successful at doing this. So I always tell folks, research the coins, okay? Because there's strikes, there's strike, designations, and there's varieties and all sorts of other great stuff to look for in Buffalo nickels. My favorite website to use is pcgs.com, and go to the price guide. And when you bring up the price guide, it's going to give you the price guide of a certain range of grades. Anywhere from 4, which is a good level, Fine 12, XF 40, Mint State 60 is where it begins for like the nicer stuff. And it goes all the way on till you get to the top pop grade for that specific date. And what you're going to do is you're simply going to analyze the information. You're going to also find out how much it costs to grade one of these nickels right here. All right, that's important. Okay, is it going to be 25, 30 bucks? Or are you going to send a lot of them and do a bulk submission? These are things you got to know, because if you're going to try and be successful at doing this, you also have to keep a good record. You need good records keeping of the amount of money that you spent. So budgeting out the amount of money that you invest in the grading process is going to be just as important as how much money you make at the end, because they have to balance out. You have to always be in the black and not in the red, which means you're losing money. That is important. So take a look at some of the dates. We're going to start off with 1930. That's still a very accessible date in spite of it being an earlier 30s dated coin. And then go ahead and take a look at the grades, okay? I would start with Mint State 63. That's a very achievable grade, even for a 1930 dated Buffalo nickel. They are out there to be found in Mint State conditions still. But ultimately, you want to be right around $60, all right, value on your graded coin at the minimum. So for a 1930, let's say you're going to go on eBay, you're going to do some searching around. You've identified a few 1930 Buffalo nickels, and they look absolutely clean. You're pretty excited about it. And you are going to pay $40, for example, for that coin. All right. And then you receive the coin. It comes back, looks great. You're ready to send it off to the graders along with some other coins that you have in-house that you're ready to grade as well. And that costs, say, $25. So I'm just using a roundabout number. It could be plus or minus $5 from that point forward. All right, so when you take into consideration the $40 that you spent on the nickel and then $25 for the grading submission, you're at $65. Now, there's going to be a few other kind of like fees that's involved, like shipping and all that. You could play that into the equation as well. But you need to know your absolute limitation on that specific coin. It can't grade no lower than the mint state 63. Now, these are price guide values. Anything that's like printed or visual, there is a discrepancy in the amount of money that you do make off of these, okay? You're not going to go on eBay and see every single mint state 63 1930 Buffalo nickel sell for exactly $65. It could be $45 one week. There could be another one that sells for $75. You just never know. So what they do is they take an average and they bottle it up into one number, and that's how they come up with the information on this price guide. But even better, if it came back as 64, you're making money. If it came back as 65, congratulations. It's looking really good from that point. But what you want to do when you're analyzing the grading and price guide information on this website is that you're taking a look at the minimum pricing kind of like level. All right. By the time you factor in the price of your coin and the grading submission fees, maybe on its 31S, because it is comparably a lot tougher date of coin to find in mint state condition. This is probably your most toughest, and then I would say probably 34D is your next toughest grade. 31S, let's say, you're probably going to end up spending over $100 for a raw mint state grade example. You better make sure that that thing grades out at the minimum 63 or higher. All right. And as you can see, the prices at much lower grade levels is much higher than some of the other coins surrounding that date. So take a look at the minimum that you would have to grade out to stay even on that coin at the end, and take a look at the most amount of money that you could possibly make on that coin. The 1930S in a mint state 67 plus, that seems like it's the top grade, carries a value of around $25,000. Take a look at 1935. The top grade for that one is $35,000. That seems like a lot of money. And again, the risk factor on this particular type of coin is very low. It's nothing like the Jefferson nickel where, let's say if you don't hit a mint state 65 full steps and it goes anything below that, your coin's going to be worth $5-10, where here, because these are Buffalo nickels, it's an obsolete design, outgoing, and they're just incredibly popular with collectors. Your value, your minimum value, isn't going to be as near as deep as a Jefferson nickel. You're not going to lose out on much money if you miss the mark on the grading. So there's a couple absolutely huge coins to find. Here's a 36, which is a standard multi-million minted date. 36, look at the top value, and it's 68 plus, $40,000. That's a lot of money. So as you can see, up and down the list, you even have a couple over mint marks and a couple RPMs, and those are quite valuable at the highest grade levels. All right, but you could see just the overall opportunity here. You can make as much as $40,000 to $50,000 if you find the right coin. You have that eagle eye working for you, and you have done all your research in advance. All right. And yeah, these nickels do sell for that kind of money. We see it all the time on great collections. We'll actually go in, we'll take a look at a few realized sales on there. But the first important step is to get to know your coin that you're going to buy, know exactly your bottom end grade level, and know how much the potential is for that coin. Some of them could be a lot higher because there's no 68 left yet. Like this 35D, there's no mint state 68 realized in the grading database for that coin. So that could be a $40,000 coin in a mint state 68. So the sky isn't quite the limit, but this is a great way to really dig in. Let's say you don't hit the top grade. I mean, look at some of these other grades. Mint state 66 for a 35S is a couple, $200 or $300. For a 35D, it's $800. So there's money to be made at all grade levels beyond a certain point of that particular date of coin. So yeah, fantastic. So we've gotten the information that we needed, and I think we're going to use, let's see. Well, the one I have here is a 36S. How about we just do 38D, because those are a couple of the coins that I have here. Based off of what I do know, these coins would, at the minimum, I would say, have to grade out at least a 65 for it to be worth your while. And then any other bonus that you find, an over mint mark D over S or a D over D RPM, is just going to add a whole lot more value to that coin. As you can see, these coins are worth a lot more with those specific varieties. All right, let's hop on to eBay. We're actually on the US Nickels page. We're going to go ahead and click into Buffalo, and we're going to go actually do some shopping. All right, and we're going to use some of the most commonly used keywords when you're shopping. Okay, obviously you're going to go ahead and type in the date. That's important. I do /D, and then you could try out a generic mint state term called BU, which is brilliant uncirculated, for the Buffalo nickel. All right, so it's just going to be a moment here. We're going to let this computer switch over, and we got some BU 1938s. There's 293 to be exact for you to look through. And as you can see, there are a lot of good ones here. Lots and lots of good ones in here. And I tell you what, being that there's an overabundance of 38D mint state Buffalo nickels, this is going to be a huge opportunity. I'm already giving up some secrets, some tools of the trade here in this video, because 38D is one of my favorites, only because it's one of the most accessible dates in mint state condition. As you can see, we almost have 300 listings for this coin. And again, you also have the D over S that you could cherry pick along with the D over D RPM. All right, so I mean, look, some of them are as low as 10, 15 bucks, and they go up from there. There are people there selling some rather good-looking coins for $100, which in hindsight doesn't seem like that much, but you could like this first coin right here, this one for $35, just seems to be like the sweet spot type of price point for a 38D raw. All right, so you usually don't want to take the chance of spending anything more than that. But what you're going to do is you're going to identify a whole bunch of nickels. Okay, you're probably going to save them into your list for you to take a look at them, because you got to take a look at these listings with clear eyes. All right, make sure you get some eye drops in there. Make sure your vision's good, and go ahead and analyze the coin. Like, blow it up and take a look at it. All right. Some of the key areas to look at on these Buffalo nickels are going to be the high point areas. You're going to look at things like the fields, the empty space around the main device of the coin, which is in this case the Indian head. You're going to take a look at the highest points of the coin right here, the cheek, this hair to the braid area, and then also right here on the side of his head. All right, among a few other places. That's on the obverse of the coin. On the reverse, I mean, you have Black Diamond, the Buffalo namesake, that is sitting right in the middle of the coin. So there's a lot of high points on here to take into consideration. How clean is this area here on the foreleg and then throughout the body? Are there a lot of distracting nicks and little ticks in there that's going to prevent this coin from grading out, say, a mint state 67? Because you want to shoot as high as you can, but keeping things rather just reasonable in terms of your overall expectations. Like this right here, you can see a few little nicks and all that right here. This very much looks like a coin that'll grade out 66. As a matter of fact, this NGC graded example right here has a few of those same nicks as well, and they're rather light. You don't see like big, huge gashes or anything distracting. I mean, the fields look absolutely clean. All right, and then most importantly, know if you're going to receive the nickel that is in the photos, because what a lot of people do is they're going to sell these coins online, and they're going to offer up what they call a Dutch auction, where you could buy as little as one, or you could buy up to like a full roll, like 40 of them in a shot, and then they will use a stock photo for the image of that listing. So you want to be absolutely careful that you don't get suckered in thinking that the stock photo is just way good and that's going to be the coin you'll receive, because sometimes it's just not, especially if it has like a little bit of toning or something on there. So this coin looks good, but you got to keep in mind, this is probably a 66. You will break even on this coin. All right. And it looks like there's no RPM or anything that I could see. No, this is just a regular 38D. But you will look at things like that. But you want to go for the absolute cleanest coin with the sharpest absolute strike. And a few other things that'll add bonus to that is toning. Like this one right here has some nice little toning on the obverse of the coin. This one right here has a little bit of toning. As you can see, it's right here on the periphery, the edges. So that was probably in an album at one point. So any sort of color, natural toning will add a bunch of bonus points to the coin's value. And the graders love that sort of thing. You know, it could make the difference from a coin grading a mid-state 66 or a 66 plus, and possibly push it up to a territory where it's going to be worth a tremendous amount more money, like a 67. So you're going to identify some coins that'll work out for your grading submission, and you're going to go ahead and buy them. All right, so here's even a D over S, nice choice BU condition. Choice always kind of seems to be like a mid-state 64, 65. As you can see, there was kind of like a really prominent nick right there above the braid in the Indian's hair. So this one will definitely grade out, you know, mid-state 64-ish. Value-wise, I don't think the value is quite there for that coin, so that's where you're going to move on. But you know what? There is a ton more coins, and there's going to be unattributed RPMs, and there's going to be unattributed over mid marks, the D over S. So make sure you take a look at those and then move forward as necessary. Like this one right here is incredibly lustrous. $49.99 or best offer. You could certainly try and talk down that person for that coin. All right, so we found some coins, and then we are going to send it off to your grader of choice. It could be NGC or PCGS. The overall coin values in either of those slabs are very similar. Okay, you're not going to see like huge price swings from a PCGS or NGC graded mid-state 68 of some of these coins. You're just not going to. As a matter of fact, they're going to be relatively close in value. All right, and again, that's all a testament to the actual series of coin, the Buffalo Nickel. It's just incredibly popular, and people will buy any good-looking PCGS or NGC graded coin. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at a few realized sales of 1938. So as you can see, there's one sitting right there, a D over S in a mid-state 68 by NGC with a little bit of toning that sold for almost $3,000. So again, that's a possibility. Okay, that's a great opportunity to make a few $1,000s if you know what you're looking for. In terms of the overall look and appearance of the coin, here's what the coin looks like. I mean, it doesn't look all that spectacular compared to a few of the coins we already looked at on eBay. The toning is right around the edge. This one looks like it might have been in a album at one point, but it also has just a hint of color right here in the middle, kind of like a purplish magenta. It's very light. The reverse of the coin also has a little bit of toning, and it looks relatively clean. Like, you don't see a lot of little nicks and stuff in the high areas of black diamond right here. So this is going to be just another great coin to spec on if you need to. But you know, there's one right there that sold this past week for nearly $3,000. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of the most priciest 38Ds that have sold since the dawn of great collections. And we're going to go ahead and sort it out by highest price and then go. Sorry, I should have done that the first time out. But as you can see, a 38D in a mid-state 68 plus by PCGS sold for nearly $12,000. I mean, come on now. It is also toned. Here's another one right here, a mid-state 68 that sold in 2018 for $7,093. And then there are more that have sold since then. As you can see, the prices have come down a little bit. Here's one from February of this year that realized $4,000. All right, and that's for the same grade as this one that sold in 2018. But check down all the way through the list. Everything is auditing lists. You're auditing previous auction records. You're auditing PCGS.com price guide. You're auditing eBay. You're auditing the pricing schematic for sending your coin out to either PCGS or NGC. It's a lot of data finding, and then you do a lot of research. You do a lot of note taking. Obviously, you got to do a little bit of math in there as well. But if you do all these things, ladies and gentlemen, on these 1930s Buffalo nickels, I will guarantee you that you will be very successful in identifying a few of these coins, all right? And it doesn't just have to be eBay. Again, you could go to your local coin shop. Coin shops and shows, you see a bunch of mint state Buffalo nickels that are not graded. Those are great places to kind of check out and see, you know, if you could, you know, make it happen from that point forward. But wow, look at all the money up and down this list. Lots of opportunity here. And 1930s Buffalo nickels is a great target. And this is kind of like a go-to for a lot of people that want to get into the grading game and make some money in the process. It's really not that hard. The risk is low. The worst you could do in most cases is break even, right? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. But that's going to go ahead and do it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of the Graders Carousel. Grading Carousel. I don't know. We'll come up with a definitive name here soon. But I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about this presentation? There's a lot of great stuff to find and identify. It's more than just trying to make money, but you're also honing in your grading acumen, and you're getting it down to a science where you feel comfortable with identifying coins that you think will grade out at the highest level. That's important, because when you begin to self-doubt and you pull back, okay, you're never going to buy things, you're never going to submit these coins. And you're going to go back to submitting 1985 Lincoln cents in hopes that's a comeback in State 69. Don't do that. There's no guarantees there, and there's no safety net. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Hit that good old bell for instant notifications. And as always, Coinaholics, we are discovering together. You guys take care and enjoy.